Ladies and gentlemen, honored listeners, tonight you are not just an audience, you are witnesses. Witnesses to a story that the galaxy itself tried to bury. A tale whispered in hushed tones by alien admirals and feared even by their war councils. And yet, it is a story of us, of humanity. You see, there was a time when the galaxy thought of us as nothing more than a minor species, fragile, unremarkable, destined to be overlooked. But then, they learned the truth. The first encounter came not with words, not with diplomacy, but with fire. Humanity's ships, crewed by galactic standards, pushed into unexplored space with an arrogance that only we could muster. Where other civilizations hesitated, weighed risks, and calculated safety margins, humans simply leapt. They took rusting engines, patched hulls, and dreams stitched together with nothing but duct tape and courage. And they flew where others dared not. To the galaxy, it looked like madness. To us, it was adventure. It was on the edge of a dying star system that the Veil Dominion first met humanity. The Veil had ruled for centuries. With cold precision, their fleets were sleek, disciplined, and perfect in their geometry. No one had ever stood against them and survived for long. And yet, when they intercepted a small human convoy, they expected surrender. After all, that was the logical thing to do. Logic, however, has never been our greatest strength. The humans fought. They fought with ships that were falling apart, with weapons that overheated after every burst, with systems that flickered and sparked in the middle of battle. And still, they pressed forward. The Veil commander, in his arrogance, mocked the transmission he intercepted, the human captain laughing in the face of impossible odds, daring them to come closer. That laughter, raw, fearless, almost insane, unsettled the Veil in ways no weapon ever could. When the battle was over, the convoy was gone, scattered in pieces. But so was a Veil destroyer, a vessel that should have been untouchable, wrecked by a human ship barely worthy of the name. The galaxy had seen something it could not understand. A species willing to fight long after reason said it should have surrendered. Word spread. Alien scholars began to debate humanity's strange tendencies. Our biology was fragile, yes, but our willpower, that was something else entirely. Stories emerged from the fringes of space. Human miners trapped in collapsing colonies, clawing their way out with broken hands, explorers stranded on barren worlds, surviving off things no other species would even consider edible, soldiers holding lines long after reinforcements had failed to arrive. Again and again, humanity displayed the same trait: stubbornness, reckless courage, a refusal to let go. Even when the void itself pressed in around them, the Galactic Council called it irrational, admirals called it terrifying. Poets, however, they called it beautiful. Centuries of dominance began to tremble when humans entered the galactic wars. Entire empires had calculated strategies for victory, algorithms that could predict outcomes with near certainty. But what no program could predict was the human variable. For every weakness we had, we made up for it with creativity. Where other fleets executed precise formations, humans improvised, turning failures into traps, turning desperation into triumph. And when our technology failed, which it often did, we turned to something no machine could replicate: raw instinct. There is one story, above all, that the galaxy remembers: the siege of Orvin Prime. The Veil Dominion had surrounded the human colony with a fleet of 50 warships. Inside, only 3 human frigates remained, battered, underarmed, out of supplies. Any other species would have surrendered, or at the very least evacuated. But the humans did not. Instead, they opened their comms wide and broadcast a single message: come and take it. The siege raged for 12 days. Humans rewired engines into makeshift weapons, used cargo haulers as decoys, even rammed crippled ships into Veil cruisers to drag them into the atmosphere below. Each maneuver was unthinkable, suicidal, and yet it worked. On the 12th day, when reinforcements finally arrived, the Veil fleet was gone. Not retreated, not victorious. Gone, wreckage burning across the skies of Orvin Prime. Humanity had survived. The galaxy changed after that. No longer were we seen as insignificant. We were not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but we were something the galaxy had never encountered before. We were unpredictable, dangerous, relentless, and perhaps most unsettling of all, we were united not by bloodlines, not by empires, but by something far more primal, a need to endure, a hunger to explore, a desire to stand where no one else dared. The veiled dominion, once the terror of the stars, began to whisper warnings to their young officers. Do not corner humans. Do not assume their defeat. For when a human is pushed to the brink, that is when they are at their most dangerous. Now, across the galaxy, our reputation precedes us. To some, we are madmen, reckless and unstable. To others, we are heroes, guardians of the frontier. And to those who have faced us in war, we are nightmares etched into their memories forever. But to ourselves, we are simply human, imperfect, fragile, flawed, and yet unbreakable. And so, honored listeners, remember this tale the next time someone tells you humanity is weak. Remember that every scar, every failure, every reckless leap into the unknown, it is not our weakness, it is our strength. The galaxy may have greater weapons, sharper minds, even longer histories, but none of them will ever match the fire in our hearts, the fire that drives us to keep going when all else is lost. This is why they fear us. This is why they admire us. And this is why the stars themselves will remember our name. Because in the end, when the universe grows cold and the empires fall silent, one truth will remain. Thank you for being here, my friends. If this story lit that fire inside you, then stay with us, because the galaxy has many more tales to tell, and humanity's legend has only just begun. Until next time, keep your head high, your courage sharp, and never forget, we are human, and that is enough.